So it says here they've been talking about the draft. Well, they have a new thing. The selective services. You said go to the post office, get the card, because I had to sign up when I turned 18. They send you something in the mail. Oh, you got to register for the draft. Selective services. And I get the card from the post office, sign it up, and give it back to the post office, and you're in the system. So if they need to call you up, they call you up. So anytime they, you get this stuff on the news concerning selective services, that's a draft. A draft comes right after that. So they were expecting where the world is expecting them to go to war. When you see that before war, you have a lot of war movies. To pump up these, people in America, Jake, Esau. But you're gonna have some that are smart. They say, I ain't fighting. I ain't going to no other country. Leaving my comfort zone, because Babylon is at ease. They're not, war ready. They're not battle tested. Like the Russians are battle tested. The Ukrainian, the few men that are left, are battle tested. Now, what they're doing in Ukraine, they ran out of the young men. So now they're grabbing old men off the street, rolling up in vans, and grabbing up men that are in their 50s, 60s. And they're even grabbing a woman. And they slapping military fatigues on them, giving them a firearm, showing them how to shoot, and going out there and fight for your country. And this guy, Zelensky, doesn't have a scratch on him. He's living a life. And people see it. And they say, and people, like I said, I can't wait until that what do you call it, debate between Biden and Trump, so I can look at it and say, everybody's going to be talking about it. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Biden's going to walk off the stage. He's going to take a dump, whatever. We don't know what he's going to do. But it's a joke at this point. So, and civil war will be here. There's going to be war all over the place. So, it says here in the selective services system, I'm going to give you some precepts. It said almost all male U.S. citizens and male immigrants, migrants, immigrants. So these people coming up from Venezuela and Chinese nationals and African nationals from Nigeria, if they come into this country, they're going to be registered as to them being in this country. And they're going to fast track them to be citizens. But even if you're not a citizen, if you're in this country, they can grab. If you're between the ages of 18 and 25, they can grab you up. It says who are 18 to 25 are required to register with selective services. Now you automatically, registered. You don't got to go and register. It says it's important to know that even though he is registered, a man will not automatically be inducted into the military. In a crisis requiring a draft, men will be called at a sequence determined by random lottery, or lottery number. See, this is the lottery you don't want to win. You play the lotto for money. and you never win, or you win little money. Well, this is the lottery that you don't want to win. So a lot of these gremlins in the inner city, a lot of these gremlins, they're gonna draft them. They're gonna put them out there as cannon fodder. Or send these niggas to the, and then these gang banging niggas, these drug dealers, and these Jake on the street. Their mothers are gonna be proud of them because they in the military, not knowing that they ain't coming back. No, they're not coming back in a body bag. They're not coming home in a body bag. They're going to stay there in the Middle East and the Levant. So now it says immigrants and dual nationals. Dual nationals is somebody that might have been born in Jamaica, have Jamaica citizenship, come to America, and become U.S. citizens. So they have dual, and I believe in dual nationals, if you're called to your the country that you were born in, that you're primarily a citizen of, if there's war out there, they can call you up to fight. Or you can be in the U.S. and they can call you up to fight. So it says immigrants and dual nationals or dual citizenship. Let's read a little bit of this. Immigrants and dual citizenships, immigrants, U.S. immigrants, which include migrants, are required by law to register with the Selective Services 30 days after their 18th birthday or 30 days after entry into the United States. So these people coming up from the border, mainly through the Texas border, they're all going to be drafted. I mean, they're all going to be part of the Selective Services. And when the draft comes, they're going to be drafted. And they showed you that in the movie Gangs in New York. There was a scene in the movie where you had these people coming from Ireland. They're coming off the boats, and you got these people signing you up for the military. You just came off the boat. And then they're sitting there, they're saying, okay, you're drafted into the military, now go fight for your country. So you had, past wars, you had people of other nations that just became American citizens, and as soon as they came to America, they went to war. It says, United States, if they are between the ages of 18 and 25, this includes U.S. born and nationalized citizens. You're born in another country, you come to this country, you study to become a citizen, you're going to be drafted. It says parolees. What's that? People, now, if you're in the prison system, felony, you can't vote. But you can fight in the military. You can be drafted. You're part of this, so you're going to have a lot of prisoners and former prisoners. And I'm pretty sure they're going to let, when they run out of people, they're going to give certain people that are doing 25 years, well, look, if you fight in this war and you come back, you don't got to go to jail no more. And in this time period, when this military is gathered to go to the North Country, the Joel to the North, the Northern Army, going to have all kind of people from different countries that are in America. It's going to fight the people of Venezuela, like I said, that's coming up the Darien Gap through Panama up into mostly like Texas. They're going right to the Middle East. It says undocumented immigrants, meaning illegals, right? It says this includes U.S. born and naturalized citizens, people that were born in another country that came over here that went through the paperwork and became actual citizens. Which you cannot be a president. You can be a senator, a congressman, a mayor. You cannot be a president. You got to be born in this country. It says parolees, undocumented immigrants, illegals, legal permanent residents, meaning they're not citizens, but they're residents. They're like semi-legal. You know, you can't send them back to their country. I believe they call that denizens. Asylum seekers, like in Cuba, you got these Cuban boxers that defect from Cuba, and they want to stay in America, and they're asking for asylum. Refugees, and all males with visas of any kind which expired more than 30 days ago. The few individuals who are exempt from this requirement are those on current non-immigrant visas, as long as they remain on a valid visa up until the turn 26. I guess that's 26 years old. If you have received a letter from us requesting that you register, please send us copies of supporting documentation to show you are exempt. Now check this out. Hospitalized or incarcerated men. Incarcerated means you in prison. So you're going to get a lot of these men in the prison system. This is going to be the biggest army. You got to remember, China, there's over 1 billion people in China. India, there's more people in India than China. There's over 1 billion people. Russia, well, Russia's a warlike nation any damn way. So China, they can put together a 1 million-man army and sacrifice them, and it's like nothing. It's a drop in the bucket for them. So, and here in the U.S., and I believe, it just came to me, I thought about this before, that Biden's allowing them to come up in here for war, to vote the Democrats in, and for war. You are exempt from selective service registration if you can prove you were continuously institutionalized or confined for 30 days before you turn 18 through age 25. If you were released for any period longer than 30 days during this window, you were required to register selective service. If a man, let me do this, I can hardly see these letters. If a man is placed in a hospital, nursing home, long-term care facility, or mental institution on or before his 18th birthday, had no breaks of institutionalization of 30 days or longer, and remain institutionalized until his 25th birthday, he's not required to register. Oh, they'll change that. They'll get crazies out there too. Your best warriors are crazies. If he is confined to home, whether his own or somebody else's, including group homes, Jake is all up in the group homes, on or before his 18th birthday, and cannot leave the home without medical assistance, for example, by by ambulance or with the help of a nurse or EMT and remain homebound until 25 years old, he is not required to register. You got to be, messed up. Let's come on back up. Disabled men. Disabled men who live at home must register with the selective services. You cripple, you still got to register. A friend or relative may help a disabled man fill out the registration form if he cannot do it himself. Men with disabilities that would not qualify for military service are still required to register, because they're going to have crippled motherfuckers in there too. There is a difference between exemption from the registration and classification in the event of a national emergency. National emergency is World War III, Armageddon. Selective Services does not have the authority to pre-classify men for services if there is not an active draft So some of you that are disabled, they're going to get you too. Oh, and you can't, you can't be a man, born a man, and you change your plumbing. You're still considered a man to the military. Okay, where else? All right, conscientious objectors. So that you Israelite brothers are between 18 and 25, that's the status you're going to come under. Conscientious objectors, men who would be classified as conscientious objectors, if they were drafted, must register with the selective services. Even though you a conscientious objector, you still got to register. If a draft is authorized, and the draft will be authorized, and they are called, they would have the opportunity to file a claim for exemption. Don't got to be drafted. They're exempt from military service based upon their religious or moral objection to war. So if you're an Israelite, you would say, look, I'll tell them, I said, look, I said, this war is a war of Armageddon. I'm an Israelite, I'm a child of the Most High, and I'm not going to fight in this war. It can be as simple as that. Look at this, transgender people. They're going to get your ass too. U.S. citizens or immigrants who are assigned male at birth and change their gender to female are still required to register. Individuals who are assigned female at birth and change their gender to male are not required to register. Well, that's good for them. You was born a female, you became a male, grow a beard and all that. You act like you take hormones or whatever thing you do to get your voice strong. You really think you're a man. They can't draft you. But if you were born a man and you change into a woman, they can get you. So all that I identify as a woman ain't gonna work.